You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Podcast. This is episode number 144 of East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrell. Today I'm joined by co-host Chase Payton.
I didn't know this was coffee.
That is a coffee beer. You didn't read it. You got to read before you... Oh,
I saw
right.
bells and I was like...
Oh, yeah, it'll be great.
It's not bad.
If you want to trade for the sweet baby Jesus, you let me know.
No.
On my right, Mason Rottinghaus, drinking his Speedway chill cup because he's still 20. Not old enough. My forever co-host Dakota Davis is here in spirit and physically kind of a little bit.
That's right. Today's episode features, it's just a host show, but we're going to be talking about all of the new laws that have passed from the federal government surrounding tobacco regulations, the raising of the tobacco age, also the FDA's new regulations surrounding flavored vape juice and pods, and what all of that means for all of America's young smokers and all of America's vapors as well. We are going to also maybe talk a little bit about some Christmas things that went on. Chase, you have two Christmas gifts that need to be opened.
Ooh, baby.
After the show for Patreon members only. So if you want to watch Chase open up his Christmas gifts because he was a day late and $1 short, then hop on over to patreon.com/bosshogofliberty.
My dad has a different word for vapors, but we can't use it on this show.
This show is about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you. Other times we'll make you laugh. But hopefully you'll always learn something new. This is public apology time from me. I fat-fingered a digit, and our booked guest is thinking he's coming on Sunday. So instead, we have rescheduled our friend Justin Juice Kelly of Juice in the Morning. There is a big show coming up, a comedy show special a week from Saturday night in Newcastle. I had booked Justin on here to promote that, but it worked out better anyway. He's doing some live stand-up, getting ready for the Sunday for the show at Newcastle at the Rain Tree. So we're gonna have him on next week.
I don't think it's a Rain Tree anymore.
Some people have said he's the next
Oyo.
Bill Burr.
At the is it have a new name?
It's the Oyo Hotel.
Hey, Dakota and I had prom there one
Not
year.
kidding you.
Yeah.
Breaking news! I was not aware of that.
It's the Oyo Hotel.
But if you know where I live,
New
and
sign.
you realize that I don't drive by it because it's in between on the main
No,
segment.
I was
of road where
really
don't drive
hoping that
through.
like maybe the OYO is making the face out for like an hour or something, but I haven't seen any change. I just saw Oyo Hotel. So
All right, and I got to thank producer Chris over here on my right. I didn't get him in the introduction, but
Hey.
of course we love producer
Hey,
Chris, and
Jeremiah.
he's here.
Look at this picture I found of Dakota and I.
Oh my gosh,
We were very young.
this is great for radio. Like, bro, you could probably post this in Patreon for everybody.
Dakota doesn't have
Chase-
facial hair.
Chase looks almost the same, and Dakota looks like a pudgy adolescent Dakota.
is that high school?
Yep.
That is
Correct.
high school.
That's
yes.
exactly what that is. All right, Dakota, you got to thank some folks.
That's right. Before we get too far into the show, we have the people over at Patreon who support us monthly to thank. You can sign up at any level and get all kinds of bonus content from us. There's some other perks at different levels, and the more you give, the more we give you. And if you subscribe at $50 or more a month, then we promise to give you a shout out every show. Those folks are Christy Avery, Jonathan Phillips, Craig DaCosta, and Chris Lamb. We also have T-Chip stores. That's where you can get merchandise. If you don't want to support us monthly, but you still want to support the show, that's where you can do it. tchip.com/BHOL1, 2, or 3. I have a sweatshirt on from tchip.com/BHOL3 right now. It's a nice gray.
You got the hoodie.
Yeah, a gray heather sweatshirt. It's got the logo on the front. On the back, it says Local Stories, National Impact. That is BHOL3. We closed out our hashtag Red for Rob. And
We raised some money for the Career Center.
Yeah, three digits. We will be giving the Newcastle Career Center $100 from that fundraiser. So that was awesome. Thank you to everyone who supported us in that endeavor. And I think that was a New Year's resolution that we had for the show, is to make sure that we can help out more around the community and do more good things like that.
So we did that, and then tomorrow morning, Sarah and I, the lovely Sarah Morrell and I, are going to be dropping off, I think, 40 pairs of children's 45 pairs of children's footy pajamas that the community helped pitch in for real quick, and we're gonna be dropping those off at the Salvation Army. So thank you, producer Chris, for putting that together. That was awesome.
Sarah sent me
Thanks,
the picture,
Dad.
but yeah, I organized getting the money from everyone.
Yeah.
You dreamt it up. You held us accountable. You made it happen. You even got money out of Chase, which is, you're gonna be honest, that's pretty impressive.
I'll be honest. I was trying to play it off like I didn't see it. And then he was like, all right, guys, I'm ready for the money. And I was like,
It's all right, Chase. The funny thing is, I didn't even count your money in there. So it's just an extra 10, buddy.
So now that's just a profit. All right. So speaking of Chase and his money, fantasy football is over.
Yes.
You served as the commissioner, myself, my father-in-law, Kevin, producer Chris, we were all in the league.
yeah, 14 people.
How did this league turn out, Mr. Commissioner?
Not as I planned it. I lost a couple bets. Wasn't a great season. I have to pay up on those bets.
So there's some money to be paid out
Yes.
to the winners.
Yes.
And-
I owe you, Jeremiah,
Okay.
$180.
Yeah. And I will be sending half of that to Guffey.
What you do with that
because
money
of it-
is up to you. I
For
just don't want
tax
to know about
purposes,
it.
I'm giving to a charity, and that's Guffey. So I'm going to give him 90 of the 180 to untax myself. And then you had a side bet going on.
I did.
The greatest of all side
Guppy,
bets.
you as I Venmo Jer,
You guys have been-
you tell him about.
You guys
the
have been
side bet.
best friends for like 2 years in this community of the show.
Yeah, we've been really good friends. Probably a year and a half, maybe, give or take.
Yeah, I drove him up to go camping.
Channel Lakes, yeah, we drove there with each other. And then we realized that neither one of us had added each other on Facebook. And so,
Realized.
yeah, well, and so I have my profile on public so Chase can go and see everything I post.
So he's been liking everything. of
Everything
yours.
for the
So
last
occasionally
at least
I'd
year.
wait like a month or two, and then I'd
Yeah.
go and like everything on his wall. And he posts a lot of stuff. So he'd get like 30 notifications. at a
Yeah,
time.
sure would. And so then we were like, oh, football's starting. Let's do a side bet. The loser has to add the winner or whoever finishes higher in the standings on Facebook.
So what really happened?
So what really happened was
I needed one more person in the league. And Guffey was like, oh, I don't know. So I had to add the side bet in so he joined the league.
You had to tighten.
that is not at all what happened.
And then he came back. So what happened, the reason that I had to give half the money to Guffey is that I asked you, hey, what's third place pay? And you're like, $40.
Jeremiah, I'm looking for a trophy in my emojis, and I just
It's okay.
No, third place pays nothing.
No, well, the second place, right?
Yeah, second
Second
place
place,
pays
you,
80.
you and I were in the third or fourth place game.
so it's
Yeah.
a $20 buy-in,
Right.
And then second place gets 60, first place gets 180.
So Guffey and I were playing each other in the semifinal.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Yes.
no matter what, we're in the money.
Mm-hmm.
Just buy it off.
That sounds like a loser to me. Jerry, you'd be making $180 right now.
But he could have been making zero.
I could have made zero. And once again, it's tax deductible when I give money to Guffey.
It's true. It's like a charity.
All right, Jer.
All right. I'm watching for it. The big moment. Here comes the
Get it?
buzz.
Did you get it?
Chase Payton has paid you $180.
Now,
Oh, I accidentally
man
got
of my
that
word.
notification on my phone.
now I'm just patiently waiting
Did you
over
do a
here.
group pay? Did you do a group pay, Chase, and pay everybody, all the whole cast? You got them all? Look at that. All right. Well, I will, within 3 to 5 business days, I will process Guffey's side of that. And
I
we'll get
thought
him-
about
We'll get him paid.
adding Guffey on Facebook and then deleting him automatically. But then I was like, that wouldn't be fair.
Within the spirit of the rules, I think you have to. So are you guys Facebook friends now?
No, I'm waiting on the send here.
You're waiting on him to do that part
I sure am.
because he has to add you. Mason, do you have your volume turned up over there, buddy, on your phone?
Hold on.
Are you playing that at full volume?
Maybe. Not
Dakota.
full.
Could you just go whip him for me?
Yeah.
I see this person in his
his
profile pic that looks like a Victoria's
Here we go.
Secret model. And then I see what looks like his girlfriend right next to him. Is that you, Guffey?
That would be me.
Okay, all right. Moment of silence, please.
I want you to know that I once tried to add you from his phone.
Did you get it?
We were in the car together, and he tried to crash his
Yeah,
car.
I got a screenshot as well. Confirmed.
That was not part of the bet.
Okay. There we go. So that's done.
So the real reason I lost is because I got into a little. Usually, fantasy football is life for me, and I got into a little thing called sports gambling, and that is my new life now.
That's all you do.
And I've lost a lot, and I've won a lot.
Well, now last we checked in, you were way up, Chase. Is it not that case anymore?
It's not that case anymore, but I'm still up, and that's all that matters. I wouldn't call myself a professional anymore, but I wouldn't call it a hobby either. I'm like a little above it. I'm D2.
Let's just accept it right now. This is going to become the Vice episode of Boss Hog of Liberty. We are talking fantasy football. We're talking sports betting. We've got an announcement about what just became legal in Anderson yesterday.
Yes.
And then we're going to get into tobacco. And
I'm like
FDA.
a Division I athlete that has a shot, but he's kind of stupid.
So the NAIA, go to the NAIA and play.
I'm like Mitchell Trubisky.
So you're kind of like
he has natural gifts.
You're kind of like
kind
yourself
of a
as
dumb
a college
person.
baseball player, where you had the physical talent, but just not the brains to stay in college.
No,
That's what you're trying to say?
I could have done that, but I didn't.
Oh my god!
I'm in college right now. You know what I got on my class this last semester? A 96. So fuck you, Jeremiah.
What
Is it
class?
past 8?
What are you at WGU over here, Chase?
I'm not saying where I go to school because then they know what I do for a profession. First in my class out of 22.
The important thing is, are you really?
Yeah. There was one
I'm
smart kid.
I'm
and
very proud of you.
He was only called the smart kid because he had glasses, and he'd like rush to answer every question.
Are we 13?
Hold on.
Aren't you like?
There's not a lot of
20-something?
smart people in our class, but he was supposedly the smart kid.
Let's
and
all-
going into the final test,
Did you put
I
your
had
glasses
a
on for
94.
the final?
He had a 95, and I was like, I'm gonna beat him. So I went in with my nerd glasses on. I came out with a 96, and he had a 95. So.
You're going full nerd. You're going to quit washing your face. You're going to try to get full acne. You're going to.
I've been working on it.
You're going to take that kid out.
I have to wear a helmet every day. You should see my forehead.
Yeah, those are called hard hat bumps.
All right. So now this college that you're going to, is it good enough for you to get the Sunday ticket discount? Can you be a student on your own?
I probably can.
Look at you. Very proud.
Do you have
That
a
means you're running two
.edu
screens
email
now.
address?
I'll get that this summer.
There you go.
Yeah.
They're
All
trying
right.
to let you bum mine.
So the other thing that happened, and this law actually passed like a year and a half ago, our front running state senator was at the was at the casino. There's live table games now at Anderson and Shelbyville.
Sure are.
The Racinos have live dealers now. We are slowly but surely embracing sin in this,
I actually,
in this state.
hey, Jer, I actually
Just a
believe
regular Gamora right there.
one of our really good big fans, Jerry Williams,
Yep.
is actually a dealer there.
She's been in training down there, and now she's able to do it, right?
I do believe so.
Tip the deal.
I would have said Sodom, but I can't confirm that.
So, and then our friends in Illinois, if you're in Chicagoland for any reason, yesterday was the beginning of recreational cannabis.
Yeah, they sold $3.2 million worth of cannabis yesterday.
I saw videos of the
Products.
lines, and it just kept going. It was like that stupid post on Facebook of all the colors, and it takes you like 2 minutes to scroll through. I mean, it was just a long video, and it was just
what
people
are you
standing in
talking
line.
about?
You've never seen that post on Facebook?
All of the
They're
colors.
horrible.
It's
It's
ridiculous.
like an image, and it starts like blue, and then you just keep going. It goes through the whole
orange,
color
like
spectrum.
every color. It
you
looks
just
like a
sit there.
And
rainbow.
you're stubborn enough to.
Only one time, because I thought there would be something inappropriate or funny at the end, but no,
At
it
that
was
point, I
just a
just
color.
clicked home, slide up off Facebook for the
That's
night.
yeah.
Ruins it.
All right.
There's a special place in hell for those people.
I agree.
I'm gonna share it with you later this evening.
I don't need it. I'll be editing this podcast. You're all welcome. Okay, so we got live table games. You got weed. So we got freedom. We're just like an overabundance
No,
of
we
freedom.
don't have weed. Not
Well, I mean,
Indiana.
in this country,
Legally.
it's coming
Pretty
slowly
close.
but surely. You could feel the freedom coming on. There's nothing that can stop us, right?
I can smell it across the street right now.
That's where the jail is.
All right, Dakota. Nothing but freedom coming our way, and then what happens?
That's right. We think that there's nothing but freedom, but then all of a sudden that gets slashed down in the omnibus spending bill, where something gets tacked in there that says you now have to be 21 to purchase tobacco products.
So our state senator, Todd Young, has made this his pet issue for the last 2 years. He said, we are going to raise, and I thought he was stupid and crazy at the time and said, this doesn't have any chance. This isn't going to happen. This is stupid. Why is he doing his time and his breath? 21. You have to be 21 to buy cigarettes. To buy any tobacco products, you have to be 21 years old. He's never going to get that passed. They're going to have a debate about this, and the issue's going to come up. And I was stupid and not thinking and not realizing how corrupt and ridiculous that Washington, D.C. is. And you don't have an issue that comes through for one bill anymore, Chase. You have the Christmas tree bill, right? Everybody gets to hang an ornament on it. Everybody says, this is what I want to have done, and it's a must pass. If you don't do it, you're going to shut down the government. We're all going to be screwed. So at the last minute, this thing gets attached. And I literally said, Trump won't sign that. I was like, he's not going to sign that. That's not going to happen. It was so done under the cover of darkness where people weren't paying attention while impeachment is happening.
I thought Trump was impeached.
Yeah, exactly.
All my friends are
That's what
saying
you've been focused on.
he's the only president that can get impeached and get reelected.
Okay.
That's all I heard.
Okay.
So how did he sign a bill if he's peached, Jared?
He's peach. He's in the peach. Yeah. So there's been no trial yet. So he's facing charges essentially that have not been delivered to the trial house yet. Which is what we call the Senate.
Do we need to play like Schoolhouse Rock for you?
I mean, Chase,
I had my President
I don't want to say
banner hung up in my room.
I don't want to say that you're the problem, Chase, but 2 of the 3 impeachments have happened on your watch in your lifetime.
It's kind of cool.
In your lifetime, are responsible for 2 of the 3 impeachments. This is on you, buddy. You did
All
this.
I'm saying.
You did this to this country.
Didn't you just hear him? He wants a President Pence.
I do want a President Pence for 2 reasons. Not because I agree with anything he says.
You just want to say you met the president.
I've met him twice. He was a great guy to me. And I guess there's only one reason.
It's just about Chase.
You just want to say
it'd make
that you
my
met
grandparents
the
really happy.
It would. They would really like that. Yeah.
So the federal government passes a law. This happened with Obamacare too, right? They say there's an idea. They pass it and they say, we're going to have X. And then they decide that's the law. Now, so you basically write the outline. Remember when you write a paper in college when you went for a couple of months? And
yes,
and you would say, okay, here's the outline of what we're going to write. And it's going to be, here's the title and we're going to have this little paragraph here and this little paragraph here. That's what Congress does. And they say, here's the headline of this thing. And here's the headline of this next section here.
How many hundreds did you get on your papers, Sheriff?
I was
all of them.
I was like a 3.9 GPA in college.
How many hundreds though?
I don't know. Quite a few. I don't remember. College was so long ago, Chase.
On papers.
I remember on papers. I would have to check my records. I don't know. Probably 85%.
Back
of the time.
then, everything was on paper.
85% of the time.
So you got your typewriter out.
No, it was a word processor.
I got a few.
Yeah. All right. So you would write your deal and you would kind of outline what you're going to do. And then you would fill in the body of the message. Congress trusts the federal government, the bureaucracy, to write the body of the message. So the people that wrote that in, that filled that in, are the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. They're the ones that decide who is going to. Hey, there's whispering going on. It's a shiny object. I got distracted. Poor Dakota's over here puking, and he's in rough shape. So it's just the Chase and Jer show tonight. Mason's watching football. Tennessee 0, Tennessee 3, Indiana 0.
Let's go Rocky Top
in the Tax Layer Gator Bowl. They said the FDA has to fill it in, and the FDA. I don't know what this is. Christmas week, nobody's paying attention. Nobody's at work. It's just it's anarchy. They just put this little thing on a website that says, by the way, it's effective immediately. You have to be 21. So what does that do?
Purchase it. You don't have to be. You don't have to be 21 to smoke it.
Yeah, you could have bought 15 years supply and have it or whatever. You could grow it. You can do it. You know, you might have your own. You just can't secure it in this country. So what does that do to the local guy that's selling cigarettes at the Casey's General Store or the Marathon, Dakota?
Well, now he has to figure out who he's got a card and who he doesn't. First of all, and he should be carding everyone. We have already established that to make sure that they're 18.
What if the guy has a beard or a woman?
Yeah, what if it's a bearded woman? I think no matter what your age is, if you're a bearded woman, let's just let you go through the line.
We'll buy it for you.
So our bearded woman
on us
who's 20 and has been smoking for the past 2 years, now all of a sudden it goes to the Casey's General Store and gets carded just like average, but because the Food and Drug Administration said that it was effective immediately, she can't buy it anymore. Our bearded woman.
I think it's going to force more people to go on the streets and do really bad things just so people buy them cigarettes.
Are you the recipient of some really bad things to buy cigarettes for 18-year-olds?
Possibly.
Can neither confirm.
So
now Mason can't.
Mason
even buy
can't.
cigarettes.
Mason,
So-
let's send you down the road. We'll just do a remote real quick. We're going to send you down and see how many places you can't buy cigarettes.
I will go to 5 stores, and I bet 2 of the 5 I'd be able to get something.
Yeah.
So normally I'd be really pissed over something like that.
But you're not 21. So
But
what the
then
hell
I
do you
checked
care?
my driver's license and I saw, 24. Not my problem. It sounds like a you problem. It's not my problem.
What? So I immediately I read this and I thought, oh, what the hell does it matter? Like it's stupid, right? But I mean, Mason will be grandfathered in. He's 20. He's been able to buy them for 2 years.
So if you are,
so I thought they're going to grandfather him, and he's going to be fine. No, it's not going to be. They're not going to go retroactively. Mason's been dipping for 2 years, and he's addicted. The state would never do that to him. They would not leave him in
got
this
one
bind.
in his mouth right now.
They would not leave him in this bind that says he can't dip anymore because he's 20 years old. Mason, what happened? You can't go buy it.
I
They
can't go
screwed
buy
you.
it. Now I'm gonna switch to crystal meth and live on the streets.
Because they don't. When you buy crystal meth, they don't card you.
That's true. They just want my cold hard cash.
Mason was scratching his neck and saying, hey, man, I'll do a little something for you if you go down the street and buy me some cigarettes.
That Dave
I was
Chappelle,
like,
you
no,
go.
yeah.
You got crack.
You got any more of that grizzly?
Have you seen the one of is it Key and Peele where he's like, hey man, you give me a little slap ass.
All right, so why is there not a revolution in the streets? The memes have been good. There's the guys that are getting carried out in battle that are, that's
my favorite post on Facebook, Jared, is all the boomers saying, oh, well, they can buy a house, they can join and go to war, they can travel the world, they can do all this shit,
but they
can't buy a cigarette
or drink a beer.
It is objectively true, though.
It is true. I agree with all of it, but I've seen it like 60 times.
Yeah, I've seen
just
it a bunch.
today.
It's good that our ideas are finally out there.
Yeah, I've been
People
making
agree.
this point with alcohol for the longest time. I moved out of my parents' house and had my own home. I was working construction every day, and I was 18, but I couldn't drink beer. I thought, I'm doing literally everything else that you expect of a full adult.
You could buy a house, be $300,000 in debt, be a father with 2 or 3 kids, have a $50,000 car loan, have $40,000 in student loans, but you can't buy a beer.
And the government still says that you're too immature to make decisions about what you consume for yourself. That's a pretty
Not
warped
me
reality.
personally, but I've seen some friends do some really shady things when I was underage to secure alcohol.
Like what?
What kind of
Really?
things might be happening out there?
Let's hear it.
Be going to the really bad parts of town.
Is there a voice of
witnessed
Newcastle?
Like North of Q Avenue.
I witnessed
Hospital Heights?
I witnessed people in a house where my friend got alcohol do cocaine in front of their children. That's a real story. Like, you do some really shady things. Not me personally.
I never did those things. I just called my friends that I knew were 21. and said, "Hey, can you run to the liquor store really quick, and I'll pay you $5 extra for it."
I've had to ride in the car with those people, and you see that the lights flash behind you, and you think it's over. And then luckily they just drive right past you, and you're like, whew.
I can't wait.
And then I had to drink one just because I was so stressed.
I can't wait for the day I taste the first drop of alcohol.
Your first beer?
My first beer. It's going to be a day to remember, and we're going to be in Nashville.
This one tastes like Starbucks.
I'm excited.
Oh, poor Mason.
Are you regretting the Bell's Arabica?
No, I actually like it. It caught me off guard that first sip, but
That dark chocolate in your mouth just didn't taste right?
I'd probably buy it again.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot of money wrapped up in that one.
Yeah,
Is that an Aldi's beer?
No, I think I got that one at Jungle Jim's, buddy. That's a Jungle Jim's.
I've never been to Jungle
Goodness
Jim's.
gracious.
I'd like to go there one day, maybe when I'm 21 and I can buy coffee beer.
So then, along with being 21, the president has had a
former president.
He's still the president.
New year, new me.
The president has had a
know.
vendetta against vaping because
His wife got upset.
There were a lot of
Melania said this is bad, and he immediately flew off the handle and said we're going to end vaping.
For a guy who hates fake news, he fell for the fake news hook, line, and sinker. With all of the hysteria that was surrounding vaping injuries, the deaths that happened with teenagers because of some Chinese-made THC cartridges that had vitamin E as a thickener to suspend the THC in oil for vapes. And I think, how many deaths were there?
I don't know.
A little over 30, I think.
Less than on a typical Boeing crash.
Yeah. And less.
Was it too soon, Mason? Did that hurt? Is that was too much? We haven't outlawed planes.
That's true.
Stop me when I start making shit up, okay?
So it was, I think it's like just over 30 people died. But there also is a lot of concerns about teenagers using specifically like the smaller e-cigarettes that they can just slip in their pockets, and in their pockets it looks like a pen or a USB or something, and then using them at school. But I mean, my God,
I was a big fan of the Mystic because they sponsored Sebastian Bourdais.
I mean, from the baby boomer generation came the song "Smoking in the Boys' Room," right? This is not
an anthem.
It's not a new issue with teenagers using nicotine. It's not like this is something that's brand new to our society and we need to freak out about it.
We've talked about it on the show. Vaping has been a smoking cessation tool as well. Some people say, well, it's a gateway up. It's the same conversation and argument you have about people that are talking about weed. Well, if you use marijuana, then next thing you know, you're going to be stuck on the crack cocaine chase.
You know, I vaped a lot in college. My 6 months I was there.
Yeah.
Okay. Few years, people. Few years.
Like Mason, you also were an athlete once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
I
There
hear
might be a video out there on the internet somewhere of a guy who looks like me with a horse head on and a bunch of vape smoke coming out the nose. And
with the horse head on, who knows?
Now I chew tobacco 6 years later. So
Yeah,
there might be a link somewhere.
But you didn't use anything for like 2 years.
It's been 4 years.
So you didn't use anything for 4 years, and then you're 24 and you decided to pick up a new habit.
Why not? I was like, I won't get addicted.
Oh, I'm looking forward to a weekend of debauchery with you two. I'll tell you that right now. Don't tell my wife. Okay, so
Don't tell my wife.
we're looking at them prohibiting everything but tobacco flavor in the little cartridges and the USB things.
No.
But they also
What about nicotine? Can you have nicotine in it?
you can have nicotine, but is it mint? You can't have anything sugary or fun.
Well, the new law,
No more bubble gum.
The new law says that if you have a pod system, which are like the
throwaway disposable style.
Yeah, exactly. The disposable style, it can't have
The ones
like,
that kids like
fruit-flavored.
Mason like to use.
So they keep talking about Juul, which is a
Name brand. It's like Kleenex.
Yeah.
I said, I was a Mystic guy because of the Sebastian Bourdais sponsorship, but whatever.
They keep talking about Juul and bringing it up because it's such a big brand. But I think Juul, like 3 months ago,
They fired everybody.
They stopped selling mint and all of their fruit flavors.
They kept mint, but the
that's
fruit
gone.
flavors now with this,
and
it's all gone.
they did all of this on their own. with outside of any
Public
regulation.
pressure.
No, I went to the Speedway earlier,
Guffey, it's not
Obviously.
looking good, man.
and all of the flavors, they had the tobacco flavor. That's all they had.
I just need them
left.
to win.
You
Like
like
3-0.
all the the
Yeah,
whole
but
vape
Tennessee's
side.
about to score again.
I'm going to punch both of you right in the face. Mason was finally telling a good story for the first time in an hour, and you're
All
talking
right.
about UT.
I quit.
Thank God. But Mason is right. They only sell menthol and tobacco flavored, and now the new law states that on pod systems you can only manufacture tobacco and menthol
Yeah,
flavors.
it was just empty. I mean,
but that's not going
One
to
row.
affect the guys that you see with the refillable things. Any juice that's being manufactured, the vape shop down the street.
So the vape shops have successfully lobbied to the point where the president was bragging about how he saved the small businesses. The vape shops have successfully lobbied and said, we don't sell to the little kids. We're selling to adults, and we're the ones that are responsible, and we like choices, and ours are designed so that you can step down from 24 to 12 to 3 to 6 to 3 to 0 milligrams and use it as a smoking cessation tool. So those folks, my dad was one of them, and he said today when this thing came out, he's like, I used coffee. I haven't vaped in 2 years, but by the way, I like the coffee flavor. That's what he loves, coffee, and that's what he used to drop it down to nothing. Thankfully, they were listened to, but it's wrong. It's wrong all the way across the board to come in and just decide you're gonna do this to an industry.
yeah, it was,
And it shouldn't be that arbitrary. Your livelihood shouldn't be arbitrary to a damn bureaucrat sitting 4 floors up in Washington D.C. deciding if your business gets to exist or not.
Right.
What
Yeah,
kind of a run? Yeah, whatever. What kind of a world do you want to live in that can happen?
But they say that kids teenagers specifically aren't going to want to pick up Juuls or other e-cigarettes because they can't have the flavors. Whenever, because my coworker's got a Juul, and we were on Reddit one time, and he stumbled upon a whole subreddit called Use Juul Pods. And this is a subreddit where people bought and sold Juul pods that were empty and had been previously used. And they go for about 50 cents a piece, so that people who are buying them can just pop them open and then refill them with
Whatever. They
Hold
want.
on,
whatever
hold on,
they want.
hold on. Aren't these the same people that smoked real cigarettes in their school bathroom back in the 70s and 80s,
It's-
like in every
yep.
teen movie you see?
I feel like we almost talked about that like 5 minutes ago.
Could you cue up Smoking in the Boys Room for us to help Chase out here with this?
Was that when I was talking to Guffey or watching the
I
football
think you
game?
were watching the football game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
we
apologize.
discussed that.
No, what? You're never. Gonna,
I thought I was making a really
you
good
did
point.
a great job. and when I know you always go back and listen to the shows. When you hear Dakota make that point, and then 3 minutes later on the replay, when you hear yourself make that point, you're going to say, "Damn it, I agree with Chase." Chase is so smart.
Yep. You will. You'll be doing something else if you try to re-listen, and you'll miss me. And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
never said
Hey.
that.
Had a poll to see who did it better.
Playing the hits here. You're never going to legislate everything out of it. Why that? What's the point?
Yeah,
You're always going to have recyclers and people that. But that's literally like the half of 1%. The people that are actually not going to throw away their Juul and are going to take it apart and tinker with it, try to make something else out of it. That's the Chris Guffey, the technician of the world, that's going to do it. He's the only one in the room that would actually dick around with it. Dakota might once, and then he'll lose interest after he's done it once to prove the concept, and then he's going to go back to
Yeah.
I was with Dakota.
making something out of banjos.
I was with Dakota when he legally bought his first pack of cigarettes.
No, you weren't. I did
I
that.
was. I was with you. It was me, Kyle. Were you there, Audrey?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And then we saw our youth pastor like right after. It was really awkward.
true.
I think I was buying a lighter. I was like, bonfire tonight.
Burning
Yeah.
trash at mom's house.
I felt really bad.
He was really nervous. We had to peer pressure.
Did you
him
make
into
the
it.
youth pastor
did.
nervous?
No, I was really nervous, and just like Irish car bombs, I succumbed to peer pressure. But luckily, I didn't move on to the heavier stuff like chewing tobacco. Chase. Especially now that I'm 24 years old.
I'll tell you what.
Dakota just peer pressured
I don't
me
wanna-
into fornicating, so it's okay. It was payback.
Yeah. You got me good.
So that's going to be in the show.
People in the Bible did it, Chase. It's okay.
No,
I was sold.
I didn't peer pressure Chase. Chase called me after.
We're really telling
Yeah.
a story.
It's a whole thing. We have great memories with each other.
Last time he's allowed to borrow that van, I'll tell you what. Okay.
Shut up. That wasn't that night.
You took it too far that time. Oh boy.
I haven't told any stories.
We just danced on the line and you went.
Hey, Jeremiah, no names.
I didn't
just-
say anything.
You just
If anybody's
rushed the gate.
doing any doxing around here, it's me. We know that.
Mason, you can't look it up on
Mason was
Beacon.
like 10 years old at the time.
What?
You know, we've moved on, Mason.
Okay.
Just
It's okay.
Get back on
Just
your
go
phone.
Go back to sports betting under your dad's name. Guffey, did you get the music?
Absolutely not.
Thank you, producer Chris,
You're welcome.
for doing your job.
I'm still in the holiday mood.
This has felt like the weirdest week ever. I'm off tomorrow.
Yeah, Steven Vitito, who was on here, who's teaches in a high school, he said that the draw to young people in Juul is the resemblance to USB, so they can sneak them at school. And whenever I was in high school, vapes just became a thing.
Maybe we should outlaw USBs and say use your Google Drive, you degenerates.
No one expected vaping to blow up the way that it did. I don't think anybody really saw that coming. It's whenever I was in high school. Remember whenever they first started, and there was like one kid that had a vape whenever I was a senior. Everyone just made fun of him relentlessly for
I was
it.
going to say, you had.
The only reason I stopped is because my dad said he'd disown me because he never wanted a daughter. Which was really sad because he has a daughter.
Huh, that's pretty sad. That was really sad.
Any other sad stories you want to tell us, Chase, as we close out the night?
about your
I have a
emotional
long
abuse?
list, sure.
Let's not get into Chase's emotional abuse as a child.
I mean, I kind of feel like we have the time. We've worked through the show notes that I prepared. Dakota, did you have anything
That
else?
no
for
one
us?
knew about.
That is a blatant lie.
They were sent in the chat.
That is a blatant lie.
Chase, you just didn't pay
Chase has
attention.
never looked.
It is.
He's never looked at show notes in his life.
It does need to be clarified though that your people who just use regular vapes are still going to get their vape flavors.
If you go to
I've seen it a bunch.
If you go to your local vape dealer, you can get it.
Yeah, your Low Bob's, wherever. Coyote Vape, no, they closed that.
What's Coyote?
What's the one
Vape?
by
Vapor
by Mings?
Asylum? Oh, never mind.
By what?
There's one by Mings. Isn't it just called like Vape Shop or something? Or
Right there.
They're
That's
all
new.
local small businesses.
Yeah,
new.
it's all. But all those places, they still can sell flavored vape flavors. So like any of your fruity pebbles and your dad's coffee flavor.
I had one.
All
that-
those are still legal for them to sell. It's just for Juuls that they think that kids were getting hooked on them because of mango flavor for some reason. But even though Juul voluntarily took those away and stopped selling them, it's we had to
one-
make sure that it was the law because, you know, companies just doing things on their own is not good enough.
I had one that was Baja Blast flavored. That was my favorite.
Is that Mountain Dew flavored?
Weird.
Do you not know what Baja Blast is?
I think that's like a weird flavor of Mountain Dew.
you
but I could be
didn't
wrong.
study that in college when you graduated?
I graduated college in 2008. Been out for
Chase sounded so mad.
been out 12
He
years.
said, "Do you not know what Baja
It's only like the greatest Mountain Dew of all time.
I remember being a part of the survey group when Code Red came out.
Oh my god!
Aren't I, Grandpa?
I threw
over
up
here?
Code Red one time, and it's been hard for me to drink it ever since.
That's the way I feel about whiskey.
One night when I was like 8 years old, I got grounded, and I had to stay in my room the rest of the night, and I had like 2 packets of Fireball and a 2-liter of Code Red.
Packets? What do you mean packets?
10 packs, like 10 shot
No,
packs.
like I guess 2 bags of Fireballs,
Back.
and I ate a bunch of them.
Oh,
The can.
that's what I was.
Oh no, not I was 8. I was 8
well, you
years
said
old.
Fireball, not
Yeah.
Fireballs.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Back when I ate those Fireballs, I don't think the whiskey was a thing.
Yeah.
No, it probably wasn't.
It probably, well,
So you're
I
8
don't
years old. You have Code Red, and you
Yeah.
also have, and it sounds like a lot of things. That
I think
are
I
going
was
to-
watching
They're gonna all these things are really gonna
Animaniacs.
make me swell
Fantasia
up.
2000.
Oh, no wonder your dad thought he had a girl in his hands.
I don't think I made it all. Anyways, I threw up a bunch that night. I haven't been able to drink it since.
So the other theme that I wanted to bring up here, or the other story that I had in this theme of Vice, the Vice episode, former South Bend, Indiana mayor Pete Buttigieg, he's been out of work for 2 days. He sat in Iowa with the Des Moines Register and said, I want to decriminalize all drugs or stop putting people in jail for drugs, which is the first really high level candidate that I've seen do that.
Bernie Sanders has talked about it quite a bit.
yeah, he's old.
Well,
Won't win.
but
No chance.
Mayor Pete said yes, it's a problem, but he's talked about the ideas that we've talked about as liberty guys for quite a while on stop throwing people in jail. Doesn't work. It's not, in 5 years ago, he even said in the conversation 5 years ago, I wouldn't give him this answer, but it doesn't work because I think he's dealt with the same things we've talked about on the local side here. So I'm a little optimistic. This FDA stuff and Congress being reactionary as hell is ridiculous and has irritated me.
Where we are headed, I think, with the raising the smoking age and basically just age regulations in general, is because of the way that our society has structured college and high school. College being looked at as a mandatory thing, and really the vast majority of young adults they're maturing much slower because of spending so many years in college and getting saddled with thousands and thousands of dollars of student loan debt. And it seems like they feel like the people who make the laws look at this and feel like that's why they have to make these changes.
Sorry to cut you off. Dakota probably already made this point earlier in the show when I was watching football. So what's to stop them from banning it completely? Like whole nother prohibition. Tobacco.
Well, 100 years ago,
alcohol.
we banned tobacco, or we banned alcohol.
Yeah, I know that.
And we
I've
created
seen all the movies.
we
I
created
will
the
get my
mobsters.
Tommy gun out if I have to.
Yeah. So hopefully we've learned our lesson in the last 100
Well, you
years
would
that
think,
prohibition didn't
but
work
it's
on
like-
that side.
Step 1, step 2. I will build a wall if I have to.
That'd be something, though, wouldn't it? If tobacco became illegal while marijuana became legal.
I'd be okay with that. If I had to make the trade, I'd stop chewing for a little pod jar.
I don't know. Never done it. I took a random this morning. That was fun.
Did you pass?
I don't know yet. I just mailed it in. We'll see.
Wait,
mail
you
it
did it
in.
yourself?
I put it in the cup, but then the lady, put the label on the cup and they
Okay, I
mailed
was
it
gonna
away.
say.
I don't know.
Send her off.
So talking about vices real quick, something that pissed me off in the last 2 days is I'm addicted to sports gambling.
Are you sure?
I've made a bet almost every day since I started.
Same.
No big bets, usually about
It's under
$5
$100. Each
bets.
bet's under 100.
I usually spend about $20 a day.
What's your biggest
A
bet
day?
you made?
$20 a day.
Puts
Yeah, but
20 on the
I
line.
win it back a lot. The
That's
biggest bet I've ever
$600
made.
a month.
The biggest bet I've ever made is if you lose every time.
But you're willing to
Stop-
lose.
He can stop anytime he wants.
Well, if I was going to lose $600 a month, I wouldn't do it. Okay.
That's a house. That's a house payment.
It's okay. He lives with
So-
his grandpa.
Listen, I went on a little losing streak last week, and I was like, maybe I should cut it back.
No, you'll never make your money back if you don't double down.
And then I started winning again, and I was like, well, there's no reason to quit now. So anyways, what pisses me off is there's 2 apps that are pretty popular right now.
FanDuel.
FanDuel, which is my favorite.
And Sports Monkey.
And
DraftKings.
DraftKings.
That's what I use.
Yes. I have both of them. And there's... I think I pulled the plug on my headphones.
It's okay. Nobody needs to hear you anyway.
Okay. So anyways, I use both of them, but there's different things I like about each one. I don't like the layout of DraftKings. I love the layout of FanDuel. But with FanDuel, if I deposit money into it, there's sometimes I have to re-download the app. So that's my only complaint with FanDuel.
So it's broken.
So there's a bug.
There's bugs.
Do you only use your phone? You don't use a computer?
Every time I try to use a
Who
computer,
uses a computer anymore for anything?
exactly. I use my phone, Jer.
What
I usually
is
do it at
this?
my lunch break. So anyways, that
asking.
bugs me about FanDuel. So I check in my DraftKings app yesterday, and I had like $8. So I must have won the last bet I put in there, which isn't very often because I don't like that app. And I won a little bit back, and I was like, all right. My uncle gave me $100 for
My uncle.
yeah, for Christmas, but it was on a Visa card. So I was like, well, I'm just going to gamble it. So I deposited it into the DraftKings app, and then I had second thoughts. I was like, we're about to go on this trip this weekend. I'll just pull it out. So I go to withdraw it. I do everything right. And it might take a couple days to get in your account. So I'm like, all right, this was Monday. Tuesday rolls around, nothing. Usually it takes about a day. Wednesday rolls around,
Are they
nothing.
concerned that you're using it to launder money now? Because it kind of sounds like you just tried to launder money through your DraftKings account. You took a Visa card that was questionably yours.
It was mine.
You
You
it
deposit
was a
it,
prepaid.
I planned on gambling it,
and
but I
now
was
it's
trying to be responsible, Jer.
back in your
You
account.
put a prepaid Visa card in your gambling account, and then immediately tried to withdraw it and transfer it to another.
Not immediately. I mean, there was
It
probably
does look like money laundering.
30
Account. It
minutes.
really
in
feels
between.
like it would have been season 4, episode 5 of Better Call Saul.
So, anyways, I pull it out. I'm waiting for it, and today I'm like, I'm just gonna have to contact customer service. So I contact them, and they're all like, "Well, in our
Mason,
records."
Wait a minute. Did you text them or call them? Call them.
I emailed them.
Mason, do you want to pretend like you know the name of the person that he emailed? You have a guess?
Jerry Johnson.
Yes.
Chris, do you think you think you can come up with the name of the person he emailed?
Yes.
Let's see. Probably a call center in India. So I'm going to go with Mike.
Anyways, it was Jeff.
I was closer.
Anyways,
Was
name's
Jeff?
Jeff.
I email him. I'm
was
like,
Jeff from Nevada?
hey, I haven't got anything back yet. What's going on? And they're like, oh, it shows you canceled that. And I was like, no, I haven't canceled it. And even if I did, you'd still refund that money onto my account. And they make me send a screenshot and everything. I'm getting pissy at this point. I'm just like, I should have my money by now. And I guess they refunded it to me. I never canceled it, so I don't know what went on there. They said I did. I didn't. So now he says, well, it takes a while for it to get back on your account. So all I'm saying is, fuck you, DraftKings. I should have that money.
It's starting to sound like New Jersey rules.
So is it
here.
going back into your DraftKings account, or is it going
Yeah.
back on the Visa?
To me, it sounds like the lesson here is if you're trying to launder money, don't try
I
to
wasn't laundering money. It was my money. I put it on the account, and then I was like, well, I'm not going to gamble $100.
I thought you knew to buy a car wash to launder your money.
Apparently, next time I'll just do it through FanDuel. So, anyways, I'm basically done with DraftKings at this point.
But
Unless
then
if I
when you-
Yeah,
went
but you
big
got
tonight.
$108 in your traffic in your.
I'm gonna pull it out.
How?
That's
They'll never let you now. It's theirs.
No, they're gonna
All
let
you
me.
can do is lose it.
It's not. It
You
is
can
not.
Never, you
it
can
is
never
not,
hit the cash out
It's
button.
not site credit.
I'd
Jer.
say
it is my
if
money.
you can't take it out, you just slap it on a random team real quick, and if you win, you win.
Yeah, but if he
I
wins,
thought
he'll
about
never
that.
get the money out.
I won't lie. That was a thought in my head. I was like, well, I'll just bet a really
one
big
time-
favorite. And
Put
I'll put it all
everything.
on.
Put
I had-
everything.
I
on
I'll
New
win like
England.
$8 off $100 bet
I
or
had
something.
done that same thing with a referral code on my bookie, and I slapped every single bit of that $150 referral onto
The Packers.
the Packers. Yeah,
who
I remember
won
asking
that? Who won that?
and the Eagles.
Who
won.
did I tell you to bet on?
You said a safe bet is the Packers.
No, I said-
you said I don't want to say it.
I gave
I
you-
think the Packers will win, but the Eagles have
I
never
gave
lost.
you-
Hold on, under this coach on Thursday nights. That's all you said.
I gave you all the information you needed, and I said I would bet the Eagles. But my heart's telling me the Eagles, my brain's telling me the Packers.
Oh, so why would I go with your damn heart?
Because I always bet with my heart.
Chase, you know,
Not a good.
You know the way to
So
make money.
anyways-
the way to make money off of all of this is to set up the 1-900 call Chase, and you get Chase's picks of the day, and you pay a
Yes.
small fee to call Chase.
I would-
That's the way you
I
make
would-
money off
I
all
would
this.
gamble all the money.
Chase can be like that guy from Mad Money. We just need to set up in here with like all those stupid little annoying bells and things. And he's like, Packers are hot tonight. I'm telling you, people.
I would never say that. But that is a good idea.
Bet.
So I'm basically, as soon as I get my money out, I'm done with DraftKings. I didn't like the layout anyway. The only thing I liked about it was it shows you the stats on the app. And I'm going to keep the app. I'm going to use it for the stats, and I'm going to send everything through FanDuel.
Okay, so we're talking gambling. This is Sports with Chase now.
Yes.
We got some announcements. The NFL. I use playing their bowl game right now. I don't know how it happened, but I know he died. Sam Weish died today. He was 74 years old. He was the head coach of the Bengals for a long time. He coached the Buccaneers before Tony Dungy, and he was the IU head coach in 1983. I don't know, because I was born in 1983. I don't know how he coached the Hoosiers 1 year, won 3 games, and got hired to be the Bengals head coach the next year.
Because
Haven't figured that one out.
The Bengals. They don't care about winning.
He did make the Super Bowl with the Bengals. So, rest in peace, Sam. That was, and he had the greatest. This is an actual physical request. I want you to go to YouTube, producer Chris, and find Sam Weish, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and I want you to play this for us.
Not Don Imus.
No, this is so there was a game where the fans were being absolutely irate in the 80s. The Bengal fans were being ridiculous. He grabbed some sort of a microphone on the stands and out of the stands. And he yelled at his own fans. And I want you to play this for me.
People going crazy in Ohio. That doesn't seem right.
Like throwing stuff on the field.
There's an official rule that officials can actually throw a flag on.
They can penalize the city. This may be what caused it. Producer Chris is looking it up now. We're tap dancing. We're finding it. We're looking. We're scrolling.
Yeah, it's going to be a minute.
It should be like very easy to find.
Bills, Texans. Who you got?
Texans.
Bills.
I got Texans.
Give me Bills.
Patriots, Titans. Who you got?
Patriots. I'd love the
My
Titans.
heart says Titans, but
Let's be honest.
it's going to be
Patriots are winning the Super Bowl.
No, they're not going to
No,
win
they're
Super Bowl.
not doing that.
Vikings, Saints. Who you got?
Saints.
I got Saints.
Did you want the "you don't live in Cleveland" thing?
Yes, you don't live in Cleveland.
Eagles, Seahawks. Who you got?
Hawks.
Eagles.
I got Hawks. You're really bad at this.
No, I'm not. I want Vikings.
I never lose, sure.
Okay. Liar. Double doink over here. You
I
got
didn't
it?
play in that game.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Tennessee's got
I
the
could
ball.
have kicked a better field goal than that, Jer.
What? I'm going to bring a football to Chicago. We're going to find a field.
Sees anybody throw anything onto this field, point them out, and get them out of here. You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati.
All right, crank it up and do it one more time for me. Did you close it? I'm going to punch him right in the nose.
All right. You don't
It
live
was
in
so quiet.
Cleveland.
You don't live in
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Yeah, he's yelling at his own fans,
Cincinnati's
having
just
some
bad.
pride. So
It's
that's
Ohio.
memorable. So
It's Ohio.
He's
It's
gone
like
now.
the shit stain of America.
Speaking of
Besides
Cleveland,
Florida.
they fired Freddie Kitchens, and then 2 days later they fired their general manager. What are they doing, Chase?
Baker Mayfield's going to win a Super Bowl.
They should have
I
kept
think-
Greg Williams. The second G is for genius. He was
Yeah.
5-3 at the end.
Who drew that on there?
I don't know.
Well,
wasn't
if
me.
you guys are familiar with Hurd, Colin Coward.
Was that you?
The,
Yeah. You heard with Purd.
I hate him.
So I do too, but
So-
he made. Hold on, let me talk, Chase.
Sorry.
Jeez,
This was a complaint we had. I talk over people.
yeah,
Chris sounds like a squirrel.
and your Bears shit.
But hey, hold on.
The complaint was that
I was the one
Jeremiah
that said you
talks over
sounded like a
people.
squirrel, so it's okay.
Anyways, today he.
I was
had,
also the one that said I wanted to run a train on Mason.
Okay. Well, $250 a month. Anyways, he said today.
He has a
talking
price
about-
and it's way too low.
Talking about the Patriots with their OC. Is it Josh McDonald? Is that his name? Josh
McDaniels,
McDaniels.
the
That's it. I don't
two-faced
know.
quitter
Well, anyways, he
who got
thinks
fired in Denver.
he thinks he's going to go to the Browns and be the head coach, and take care of Baker Mayfield and set that up for success. But he thinks the perfect spot for Tom Brady to come
Naptown.
is now.
Chicago Bears.
No, it is the Indianapolis Colts. He said he wants to play under a coach.
Colin Cowherd is just trolling Colts fans.
I know. I definitely know that. There's no
coach
way we get
Who?
a very good coach is what he said. Frank Reich is a very good coach.
Yes, but the Chicago Bears. What was the record of the Colts this year?
7-9.
7-9.
The Bears were 8-8.
Well,
And
that's-
hold on, last
He's not.
year.
He's not going to go to the NFC.
that is one better.
He's
Hold
not
on.
going to go to the NFC.
Hold on. Last year, Coach Nagy won Coach of the Year.
Okay. Anyways, but the AFC
Didn't
South.
Coach Nagy have to fire his offensive coordinator like yesterday.
because he never called plays.
He
Coach Nagy calls all the plays.
only fired 4 assistant coaches.
Yeah, he coached. He
4.
fired the old Chargers head coach too. Who was that guy?
Was it?
Your tight ends coach.
No, he's still around.
They
He's
fired
one of the only
somebody.
ones that they fired our offensive line coach from Notre Dame.
You make me work too.
And
much,
he's coming
Chase.
back to Notre Dame.
I hope so. He's really good.
He's coming back to Notre Dame. Yep.
He just had no one to work with.
But-
our offensive
Kevin
line was pretty
Gilbride.
good last
They fired Kelvin Gilbride as well. He used to coach the
But
Chargers.
Coward says we have the best O line in the NFL.
I agree with that.
So he's not going to get hit.
He said they can throw deep to TY.
throw deep to TY.
They've got tight ends coming out their ears.
Out their
You
But
know-
Colin doesn't pay any attention because we just said that we're
You know
getting rid of
why-
tight end.
I think it happens.
You know why that
I can see
opinion
it.
is wrong?
I could see it because he's not
Because
gonna
it
go to
came
the
out of
Bears.
Colin Cowherd's mouth.
Well, that's one reason.
Really
the
hot
other
daughter.
reason is
Really hot
because of
daughter.
who his wife is. The hottest supermodel in the world
Yeah.
10 years ago.
He talked about that too.
And she's never going to want to go to Indy.
Just because your team sucks, Peyton, doesn't mean you have to bash my dreams.
Those are not my dreams. Those are my nightmares.
Trust me, it would be hilarious if you
I
did
am
go to
very
Indy.
uncomfortable with the thought of having to do that.
You would want a cheater on your team?
I don't
sign
want him
up
here.
Because I
3
want him on
years.
my team.
I am buying.
We sign him for 3 years.
Chase, if Tom Brady comes here, I'm buying Bears shit, and I'm ride or die with you,
He's
baby.
buying
I'm the
Bears and he's buying
I'm on the
Colts season
Chuck
tickets.
Don't
Pagano.
lie to me.
I am on the.
You know
that happens.
You
I
know
am,
the Colts play the Bears at Soldier Field next year.
I'm going with you, and I will wear Bears shit. I will be Chuck Pagano's
But
biggest fan. I will heckle
Colts-
the hell out of the Colts. I am not a Tom
The
Brady
Colts
Colt.
host an AFC East team
Not
next
my
year, so there's a
quarterback.
possibility it's the Patriots. They haven't came out with it yet.
Yeah, you know who the home and roads are.
Yeah, you do.
I know Buffalo's coming here, and
You don't know what dates.
right? Yeah, but we know
you
where they're
know
going.
who they're playing.
Colts are going to Las Vegas next year.
They're going
The
to
Vikings
Soldier
are coming
Field.
here. We're going there. Yeah, I think the Packers play here.
Yeah, so you play the
They've
NFC
got
North.
they've got an AFC East in there, but it didn't say who it was. Is what
Buffalo.
I'm saying.
Buffalo's coming to Indianapolis
Oh, okay.
because the Colts finished third. I don't know. Whatever. I think we're playing the whole AFC East. None of this matters. But Buffalo's coming in.
I used to listen to Colin Cowherd. Well, I still do. But when I first started, I hated every opinion he had.
10 years ago, I used to listen to
Hated
Colin
it.
Cowherd. We need to move
Now
on.
I either love it or I hate it.
What do you
But
think?
I
we
like
get,
listening to him.
you think we get Philip Rivers in?
I love Philip Rivers.
I do too, but I don't think he's going to come to Indy. He's going
he
to go
can never
somewhere.
find a house with enough rooms for
He's
his
going to go
kids.
like
Yeah,
Redskins or
he's got
something.
like a billion kids.
Plus the commute, the drive is just too far. Because when they moved from San Diego to L.A., he just drove up the road. Dakota's given up. This is just painful.
All right, we can move on.
We need to do final thoughts. Producer Chris.
I've got 2 really quick things. One, I want to wish all of the new elected officials that have taken office good luck. Hopefully you listen to the constituents and what they want and try to give us a little more freedom. Just little by little, we'll keep getting that freedom we need and deserve. And then also this Saturday, if you are free, me, the Potters, Mason, Paige,
Why'd you say my name so upsettingly?
well,
Mason.
Mason will be in Muncie downtown. We'll be bar hopping. Mason will be driving
I'm
us
DDing.
to all of the places that he can actually get into. And then at 6:00, the doors open at Mad Jack's for DCCW.
Saturday.
A whole lot of wrestling, and I would love for you guys to join me.
Mad Jack's is really just the old folks' home.
No,
moved.
They've moved it.
they moved
again,
it back.
they moved again.
Yeah,
Are there
yeah.
going to be little people?
I don't think there's little people, but there are some awesome people.
We have front row seats, and I hope I just get covered in sweat
That would be pretty cool.
all over me.
I am really looking forward to being 250 miles away.
You should just say, use me as a towel.
Just throw me on them.
The Potters and I absolutely love this. We had a great time last month. There's one obviously this Saturday, and there's one in February. We are going to be
Wrestling.
wild.
We're wrestling.
I have another public apology. The Bills are not coming to Indy. The Colts were the third place team in the AFC South, and the Jets were the third place team in the AFC East. So the New York Jets will be coming to Indianapolis.
I thought
That
it was
should be a
possibly
win.
the Jets.
Nobody knows.
It'll be a good game.
Any other final thoughts from you, producer Chris?
No, I'm done,
And
man.
Arnold sucks.
Mason,
All right.
you got to GoFundMe for Brooks the puppy.
Possibly. My Venmo is rot442. We had that happen.
Are you gonna sneak them into your dorm room?
Chase, where the hell have you been?
Dude,
Chase-
I only listen to parts of the show that I care
If
about.
you remember, Chase called in sick last week.
No, he slept.
He missed the show, so
That
he
was
doesn't
2
know
weeks
that
ago.
he doesn't know that you dropped out of college.
I did not drop out of college, but I am coming home.
Rottinghaus at Purdue.edu is no longer going to work.
Yeah, you're right. Rotten at Purdue.edu. It expires in about 10 days. But this week I did get a puppy since I'm going to be home, and I surprised my dad with it. Kind of just walked in his bedroom about 9:30, 10-ish o'clock with it, and he said, "Your responsibility." And I said, "Okay, I'll take that on me." So now we have a family dog named Brooks. She's a little hound Australian Shepherd mix, and Funkle Chris just absolutely adores her. I think he put off ever having a child, and now he's just going to keep Brooks around.
It's true. I mean, we all did pitch in a little bit.
She is spoiled.
So far, I've bought the dog treats, dog food, and sent $10 in the blind GoFundMe to try to pay for vaccination.
I
What my
jokingly-
$10 was for?
No, I sent $10 to Mason for whatever
I jokingly
he needed.
said, I left the house the other night to go get her.
Some beer and cigarettes because she's not 21 yet.
Yeah, 'cause she's not. No, I went to go get a crate for her over at my mom's house, and Jared decided he's going to start a group chat called the Puppy Tribal Council. And he goes, "What are the chances Mason's not coming back?" And then they just start naming things I need to get for her. I said, "Should I stop and get the stuff before I come back so I don't have to go with her?" And they're like, "Yeah, get her this and this." I said, "Okay, my Venmo's Route 442. All of a sudden I start getting notifications. They're sending me money to go get her stuff. I said, "Well, okay, now we're going to get more than what we thought we were going to get." So she's cute. She's, I think, 8 weeks.
Your plan is to go to the Tractor Supply and get her vaccinations on Sunday
I don't
afternoon.
know. I'm gonna call because Saturday is also open clinic over at the one off the shelter, the Pat's Pet Clinic, and they are $48 for all the shots, first round of puppy shots. So I'm gonna call over to TSC and ask them how much their first rounds are. So she is going to be vaccinated in the next.
You know that's
7
going to
days.
immediately give her autism, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to deal with it.
Just make sure you know.
All the dogs that get vaccinated eventually die.
It's true.
It's true.
I've already started a funeral fund for her.
That's the most important thing. Also, I don't know if you noticed it, but she has a wound where her tail used to be. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
she has a wound.
Yeah.
So
You should get that looked at. Chase, buddy.
I got a few things. First off, I want to say we should never do a show without show notes again because I pay less attention than usual. And I've repeated myself or other things that have been said on the show multiple times, and I apologize. Second, I have 5, but I want to ask each one of you who you think is the most overrated artist or band of all time.
The most overrated artist or band of all time.
Yes. Starting with you, Guppy.
Oh man, you put me on the spot. I really don't know. Go around the table. Let me think.
Billie Eilish.
I like her.
She's overrated. She's dog shit. She's awful. She just
think she's
talks to
pretty
this
good.
tone of music. I'm the bad guy. Like it sucks.
It's got
not
good
good.
beats.
It's
got
not good.
beats.
I
You're saying that she just talks, but
She
you
just
did
talks.
a horrible job at it.
That's how it sounds like shit.
Give us a
Yeah.
little bit more.
I don't even know any of the song. It's because it comes on and I know it's by her. I'm like, turn off. I hate it. Or super overrated.
You can't be a
JoJo
critic if you don't know the song.
JoJo.
I agree with that.
She's overrated.
My
Why do
little
these
cousins
kids love her?
And it's really creepy because she's like 17.
She's like 17
And she
wearing these
looks like
jean
she's
jackets
10.
and these light up Skechers, dancing on the stage like she's 6.
I never connected with Prince. I don't get Prince. It's not my
I
thing.
wouldn't say he's overrated.
I don't know. And then I also never, if you want to go country, which is a passion project of Mason and I, Kenny Chesney.
Oh, that's one of mine.
Or I
I
hate
hate
it.
Kenny Chesney.
Yeah.
I
Not
can't
a
stand
fan.
Kenny Chesney.
How about you, Dakota?
I'll go back.
Say probably like AC/DC.
Really?
Pretty super. Yeah.
Oh, Hell's Bells is fun.
Okay,
It's fun.
so
It's
like
they're fine.
AC/DC isn't a band you listen to because you think they sound good, but it gets
They're
you
fun.
fucking pumped.
yeah. Yeah.
They all their songs sound the same. They're basically they're basically 80s, 70s, and 80s Nickelback.
Oh, don't insult them like that,
You
buddy.
can't insult Nickelback. They're a really good band. And if you don't think they are, you're a poser.
I think that
that's the end of Chase's
it's the same
segment.
thing. Their Nickelback is fine, but all of their music sounds exactly the same.
Okay.
I've got one.
No, because
It's like
their
they
new
only
stuff
know
sucks.
they only know 3 chords. The drummer knows how to do 1 beat, and that's it. And then you have a 7th grade sounding, screaming Australian that's singing, and they all sound exactly the same.
Okay.
So my 2,
I don't understand how they got famous doing that.
Trisha Yearwood.
Get out of here. You did that shit on purpose.
Absolutely.
She looked pretty foxy back in the day.
She
Garbage.
is the most beautiful woman to grace this planet.
Garbage.
I would take her over Carrie Underwood.
Whoa.
Are you insane?
You are out of your
Like,
mind,
I would
son.
take chubby Carrie Underwood on American Idol over
No.
prime Trisha
That you're
Yearwood.
thinking of Kelly Clarkson, probably.
No,
Chubby.
Carrie
was not. Carrie was never chubby.
I watched that.
No.
I watched that season as a kid. She was a little chubby.
Kelly went like, chubby, boom, right back down. But she's got her own talk show now, so she's
Carrie Underwood went from chubby
Kelly
hot
Clarkson
to
has her
just
own
hot.
talk show.
yeah, the Kelly Clarkson show, and she sings
she's
a cover.
so annoying.
I know she is. She
Okay.
really is. But she sings a cover of a
I
song.
saw Garth Brooks was on her
Yeah.
show, and I found it on the YouTubes. I don't know what network she's on, but it looked like
She took-
she's trying
found
to
it
be
on
open.
the YouTube.
She took over Steve Harvey's
I
show.
looked it up
Did
on
you?
my
Yeah.
And,
computer.
I had the young boy dial it up.
They didn't.
and programmed it
My
in there. and I was able
grandson
to see
topped it in for me.
They didn't.
I got to see it on the YouTubes.
They didn't contract back Steve Harvey, and they replaced him with her.
And then I don't know how many of you guys other will know this, but Cake. They are ridiculous.
I love Cake.
Is that Cake
They-
by the Ocean?
That's like one of his favorite songs.
Phenomena.
They're a band. not a-
I said one of. Oh,
You said
sorry.
songs.
I guess I said his favorite. Well, no,
you
I
said songs. You said they're one of my favorite songs, but they're a band.
Well, I know, but they have one of your favorite songs.
What
My
is it?
bad. I
Will
didn't
you
graduate
sing it
from
for us?
college, Dakota.
Will you sing
Neither
it
did
to us,
I.
Chase.
So
That was for Dakota's
I
bachelor
have
party. We did a
5.
cake song.
I have a top 5 most overrated artists.
Are they all tied, or is it?
No, 1
Okay.
through 5.
Let's hear
Number
5.
1 is
Another-
Beyonce.
I wanted you to start at 5.
Okay, sorry. Number 1 is Beyonce. I think she's super overrated. Her best single she ever had was Single Ladies, and that was from 2012.
I'll agree with that.
I don't know. What about the one on the movie Taxi?
That's her biggest hit. Is Single Lady.
The only reason she's still relevant is because her husband's really hot.
I'm going to add a third real quick, and it's just, I don't know if it's people taking over, but Lizzo. I just cannot.
Oh yeah, I can't stand Lizzo either.
I like Lizzo.
Really?
It's just
I
that
do.
like one, I'm a bad. That's the only thing. It's like, okay.
So Beyonce, people think she's really hot, and she used to be, but now, like, I think she's been sacrificing babies to the devil or something. She's getting uglier with age.
Beyonce?
She looks more like her husband than she used to. But,
I think that
so
happens. Dakota's starting to look more and more like Audrey every day. It's just, I think as you get older, you start to look like your spouse.
I thought Audrey was looking more and more like Dakota.
Don't you? You want to get punched right in the ovaries, Mason?
Well, I always thought Dakota was pretty attractive. That's why I hung out with you in high school.
He was in the graduating
I
class
didn't know
of
you were
3.
straight at the time.
I didn't either.
So
That's a long running
My
joke.
number
If y'all go back and listen to early episodes of the
is-
show.
my number 2 is Queen.
Oh man,
Queen sucks.
No,
They're like one of the most overrated bands of all time.
no.
What's their most famous song? What is it called?
Under pressure.
That's
Under
not
Pressure.
We will
Advanced.
rock
We
you.
Will Rock You.
I mean,
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Rhapsody.
I hear that
There's
song on the
tons of them.
radio, automatic turn.
That's fine. There's other great songs by Queen.
I don't think that Queen is overrated, especially considering the context of
Can
the
you
era
not-
they
can
wrote
you not
their music in.
Can you not dance to Fat Bottom Girls? I'll dance.
Not-
I'll make
not
you
a
dance
Queen
to
guy.
that song.
You're a liar.
Not a Queen guy.
I've danced with you to that song before. We've
Chase is purposely trying to get us riled up.
Yeah.
No, Queen is honestly that one's honest. I think Queen.
Okay, who's
I
number
just,
three?
I just
Who's
called
number-
out his joke, and now
or
he's
number
upset that he has to.
Number three is Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'll give people a
That's fair.
pass on Michael Jackson if they grew up in that time, but all I remember is creepy Michael Jackson, so I can't be a fan of that guy.
Yeah. As a little boy growing up, Michael Jackson was more terrifying than cool.
Didn't
Number
you-
4 is Garth Brooks.
you said this show on purpose. Say it on
Most
purpose.
overrated country singer of all time. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, who's
I
your real
don't
number
mind
five?
Garth. Not a huge fan, but I don't mind him. Kenny Chesney's in his place at number 4.
Thank
Can you
you.
say his last name again?
Chesney?
Chesney.
One more time.
Chesney.
Chesney?
Yeah.
I don't even know his last name.
Chesney.
Chesney.
Kenny
Chesney. Chesney.
Chesney.
Just let it roll. Chesney.
Anyways, number 4 on my list. All I can remember is all my mom's friends saying how hot he is. I've always thought he looks like a chode. So he's was that number 3 or number 4?
So how do you?
You've said 4 like 5
What
times.
are you using
so.
as reference for that image?
So who's number
of
5?
what he looks like? King Chesney was 5.
Number 5 is...
Glad you wrote this down.
Well, I did it in my head a couple times earlier in the day. And
Number
I thought
1.
it'd stick. Gosh.
Paul McCartney.
I think I just had to add a number 5.
Remember?
No,
Remember when you were in the Beatles? That was cool.
The Beatles were my number 5.
Sarah's on board. Sarah and I are going on a cruise next month, and they
I
have a Beatles
understand
cover
why
band, and I'm going to make her
people
watch
like
them
the
every
Beatles.
day.
I understand why people like the Beatles.
Touchdown.
If you're 60 or 70,
You're looking at the majority of these artists that you've listed. 3 out of your 5, you completely take them.
You're
out
not
of
from their
context.
era.
that's why
The Beatles were revolutionary for starting upbeat music and merging different sounds to create rock and roll. Queen revolutionized rock and roll.
Stadium
by-
rock.
Yeah. And then you have, who else was it that you said?
AC/DC, Kenny Chesney.
I said AC/DC.
Michael Jackson.
he said
Michael
King
Jackson.
Chesney.
Michael
Beyonce.
Jackson really, coming from the Jackson 5, creating pop
a new
out of
identity.
soul. So it was-
I understand people liking these people they were raised in that time. All I'm saying is I have a lot of friends that are like, oh, the Beatles are the greatest band on earth. I'm like, dude,
They're pretty damn good.
they could be one
just
of the
jumping on the
greatest.
bandwagon. They're not that good.
They're pretty.
They don't
damn
hold a
good.
fire to Black Hawk.
I'll give that to you. The vast majority of people who claim to be huge Beatles fans
I will
don't
not-
know most of
What
their
about
songs.
Rain
I will
City?
not hate
If
on a person
Einstein-
who's a Beatles fan that's 60 years old.
Listen,
I won't hate on a person that's
I-
a Michael Jackson fan that grew up in that day. You dance to Thriller.
There's
That's
a lot
fine.
of there's a lot of fun, and if I had Friday night, I got free tickets, and I'm going to go see Little Texas, or I'm going to see the Beatles. I'm really going to have a lot more fun at Little Texas, I think. And we're
I don't
talking
even know
about
what Little Texas is.
Queen-
You got to kick a little.
Queen,
What
I
is-
will defend
what is
to my
Little
death. I
Texas?
just think
Just
their
an old,
music
like a
is
90s
personally
country band.
shit.
So it's a matter of what era you were paying attention in that you care about it. But the Beatles are pretty damn good, dude.
There's some really good perks about just
think so.
swiping right about it on everybody on your dating sites.
My final thoughts for the night are Chase is an absolute troll, and I'm excited to go to Chicago with him this weekend.
He's going to get his ass kicked, and we're all going to be there to hold the camera. It's going to be fun.
Are you going to be the one kicking it? Will you pound my ass?
No,
Jared?
I'm
No.
if my wife lets me.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I don't know if she'll let me be violent with you, Chase. I just don't know. She's kind of controlling.
Last
We're
year,
gonna
you
have
guys
doors
cuddled
this
on
time.
the couch,
will
and I
have
took
doors.
pictures of it.
Yeah, that's when both of our teams had life still, and now they're both dead. So I don't know if that's going to happen this year.
We'll see.
They were actually cuddling and like being
It
serious.
was very comfortable.
It's not gay if it's in a
Chase,
three-way.
Chase and I
and
have
then they
something
started,
special.
and then they started wrestling.
Chase and I have
whenever
something
they
special
thought no one was there.
that you
That's
will
what,
never.
that's what we told you.
Chase and I have something special that you'll never understand, Dakota. Don't be jealous. Just be
It's the
accepting.
wrestling that makes it really weird. Whenever you don't think people are there and you just decide to do it instead of it being like something funny to do at a party. Like
What had
you
happened?
two think you're alone and you decide to wrestle.
What had happened was I have these special wrestling shorts, and I was like, Jerry, you should check these out. And I put them on, and things just happened.
Did they end up off?
You
Chase-
just had to be there.
I walked out in the kitchen
We
and
are-
saw you guys, and I was like, you know what? I'm going back into
And
the
Chase is
bedroom.
saying, "Let me be on top this time."
We are two adults, and whatever we do is okay as long as it's consensual.
Yeah, it was so strange.
And
And then
it
I
seemed
tried
consensual.
to, and then I sat back in the room for a minute, and I thought, I've got to like take a video of this because no one's going to believe me. So then I went back out there, and that's when you guys were laying with each other on the couch. So I snuck a picture of that.
Normally, after you wrestle with someone, you cuddle a little bit afterwards.
You gotta talk through it. You get a little post game. All right, final thoughts from me. I screwed up with Justin Juice Kelly once again. My apologies to him. Comedy Night at the Rain Tree is coming up January 11th. He is hosting. I think it's a $5 cover charge. 8:00 at the old Rain Tree, the Best Western, the Holiday Inn, depending upon how old you are.
Oh, yo.
2836. I got to get my cheaters on. I can't read that far away on the screen. 2836 South State Road 3, Newcastle. It's right across from Jamestown Village or Walmart. Going to be some fun. So we're going to have Justin on a week from today. We're going to have all kinds of stories. Join the Patreon. We're going to talk about Chicago next week. We're going to hear Mason and Chris, or at least somebody, will come on next week and talk about the debauchery at the wrestling. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians Network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at WeAreLibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to WeAreLibertarians.com and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at WeAreLibertarians.com.